What a shit weekend. Could this week have got any worse? This week has been shit. And that football club are half responsible for this shit, utter, pathetic week. Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope everyone's had a great Sunday evening. Hope everyone's had a great weekend and hope everyone's looking forward to the rest of this brand new week in May 2023. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Remember to share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always put that notification bell on at all times as well to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023. On United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, Rocket League, FIFA 23 Career Mode, Football Manager, and much more brand new stuff planned for the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Good evening to all you legends and good evening to all you legendary people. And welcome to the reaction, the Premier League reaction between West Ham United and Manchester United this evening. On match day 35 for the Premier League season, and could this week have got any worse for Manchester United fans and Manchester United supporters across the globe? I mean, what the hell is happening to this team? What's happening to this squad? What's happened to these players? And why the hell is this season totally collapsing right in front of our eyes? That again today shows Manchester United that we are nowhere near ready for European football next season. We are nowhere near ready for a Premier League title race. And to lose 1-0 away to West Ham is a complete and utter disgrace. To lose 1-0 the way they did, those players have shown you today they don't give a shit. Those players have thrown away the rest of the season. They've given up. They've thrown the towel in and they have down tools under a manager that is meant to be getting the best out of these players and to get this club back to the top of English football. And based on that pile of dog shit today, absolutely diabolical 90 minutes, and the goal that leads to that error, which is the clear title of this video, David De Gea's error costs Manchester United. That goalkeeper, what the fuck is going on with David De Gea this season? Absolute mercenary, absolute joke. He today single-handedly has cost this team the 3 points that were desperately needed to get Manchester United a step closer to UEFA Champions League football next season. And to down tools like that and to cost the game that we desperately need to win from, it's simply inexcusable. Those players alone today knew the risks. They knew the temptation of Newcastle slipping up today. They knew the punishment and the consequences that they knew if they were to lose this game today. The impact it's going to have on the rest of our rivals around us. It's only going to boost their morale. It's only going to boost their confidence. And Man United have shot themselves in the fucking foot again. Man United are basically hopping on 1 foot in the minute. They've lost a leg and all of a sudden have only got 1 leg left. We're literally legless. That is how bad that was again today. There is no excuses to lose to West Ham like that. And David De Gea has to have a hard look in the mirror. He does not deserve a new contract. I'm sorry. Get rid of that Spanish mercenary out of goal and put Jack Butland in. I am sick to death of David De Gea this season. He has been at fault for the several goals that this club has conceded this season. His distribution is dreadful. His confidence and ability with the ball is a joke. And his distribution from his goalkeeping penalty area is nowhere near to be seen. He is at fault for half the problems this season at this football club. And the way he conceded that goal today, me or my friend could have kept that goal out. It is not a hard save to make. And David De Gea has pushed it into his own net by the tip of his fingertips. And I think to myself, why are you letting a goal in that far out, that what you should have saved? It's a complete joke. It's a complete travesty from a goalkeeper situation that should have been solved in the summer transfer window of 2022 last year. And you're now looking at yourselves in the wrong phase of the game again. You have thrown away any opportunity of getting this season back on track. We have got 4 games to go. At home to Wolves, away to Bournemouth, at home to Chelsea, and at home to Fulham. We now have to win, mathematically, the next 4 games in a row to stand any possible chance of getting UEFA Champions League football next season. But playing like that, I would rather not even be in a Champions League next season, because that today was a sign of things to come. The last few results have been absolutely dreadful. We have gone so far backwards in the last few games. There is no hunger, there is no desire, there is no commitment, there is no fight, there's no energy. There is simply nothing left in that team to get this team across the finish line. Man United have done this deliberately. They have basically ripped the season off, basically down tools, and they're doing exactly what they did to Solskjaer, and they're doing exactly what they did to Ralf Rangnick. They can't maintain the energy. They don't give a fuck. And the players they've got there are a complete and utter disgrace to the shirt, a disgrace to the badge, and basically, yet again today, gave up. When the going gets tough, United give up. When the going gets tough, United give up. That is Man United's mentality. Soon as we went 1-0 down, the game's completely gone. Man United had 3 or 4 several good chances to put West Ham away today through Anthony, through Rashford, through Eriksen, and none of them took their opportunity when it came to them. All 3 of those shots should have gone into the back of the net. And that, again, has cost this club again today a vital win that was needed. At one point of this season, we were 15 to 18 points clear of Liverpool. The point gap is now 1 point. And we've still got a game in hand, but the point gap is 1. That is a complete and utter joke that we have taken 14 points off the gap we had to Liverpool at the start of this season. Absolute joke. We have thrown this Champions League opportunity away. We have really gave us a massive headache now to try and keep UEFA Champions League football alive for next season. But playing like that, I would not want to be playing in that competition, because that United team would get absolutely annihilated by the likes of Real Madrid, by the likes of Barcelona, and by the likes of Bayern Munich. They would tear Man United a strip off them. They would tear Manchester United apart, because I tell you what today, that is the standards of those players. They are on their summer holidays. They're already thinking about what to do and where to go for their summer vacation once the summer's over. And that 110% commitment that I've been on about, they've given up on that. They're only given about 20-odd%. And that today, I didn't even see 10%. Because at the end of the day, United are throwing this season away when they had an opportunity to make this season a successful one. And those players have got a lot of answers to do and a lot of morale boosting needed now, because at the moment, Man United are on a downward spiral to failure. This season has not been a success. This season has been a failure. We've not improved. We've got worse as a team. And as for the football, there seems to be no energy or fight left in those players to actually put in and produce a performance that they actually think is worthwhile for the fans and the supporters of that great club to sit there at the London Stadium today and watch. And even in my own front room, to sit and watch that today was fucking disgusting. I would have rather have watched paint dry than watch that pile of dog shit perform at the London Stadium, because United, again, are throwing this season away. There's just nothing left in the tank, but the players really should not be doing this. They should not be getting away with shit performances like this. And unfortunately, when you've got players and a squad like this that are doing this, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the Ralf Rangnick situation all over again. The big circle of life that we've been on about, it is going around and round and round again. Ralf Rangnick, and I quote, said last season, this team in the season needs open heart surgery to get this team fixed. Completely and utterly correct. Man United need fucking open heart surgery to fix that team. Because at the moment, that team is heading nowhere. At the moment, based on the form alone, Liverpool, Brighton and Fulham and Brentford are sat there rubbing their hands together now thinking, right, United are bottling this. Let's take full advantage of the situation that Man United single-handedly have handed to us right on a plate. And it's an absolute joke. I'm disgusted by Manchester United. Absolutely appalled by the display of non-commitment football that club didn't give a shit about trying to do today. Absolute disgrace. How can the players down tool like that in a game against West Ham, who are fighting for their lives to stay in the Premier League next season to avoid relegation, and the Man United players are playing like that? We are in big, big trouble for this season. Absolutely imploding. Absolute bottle jobs from start to finish. This club season is heading one way. It is heading towards a disaster zone, because that today was a complete car crash of the Brighton game, the Spurs game, the Villa game. Do I need to mention how many games this season away from home Man United have struggled to go to the opposition and get the win from? We've now added West Ham. West Ham United, ex-reject of a manager in David Moyes, who led this club to destruction, has basically outplayed and outfought Erik ten Hag's tactics, his rotation, and his substitutions. That United team came out for that second half, and it looks like they couldn't give a fuck to try. They thought, well, we're losing. What do you expect us to do? There's nothing left in us to do. We can't get the confidence. We can't get the team going. There's nothing left in that team, and I'm appalled by them. These are professional footballers who are earning ridiculous wages a week, and they play shit like that. And they're getting away with it by social media protecting their sorry asses. I'm sorry, all this, we've got to protect the players. You can't say this and you can't say that. It's got to stop. They deserve every bit of shit they get put through again tonight. Go for them double time, because at the end of the day, you should have beat Brighton and you should have beat West Ham. That should have been 6 points out of 6. We have picked out 0 out of 6 from our last 2 games. This season has been a complete nightmare in the Premier League. And do you know what? If we bottle top 4 and we don't get Champions League football next season, and Liverpool and Brighton finish above us, I'll applaud Liverpool, I'll applaud Brentford, and I'll applaud Brighton. Because do you know what? You're actually showing more fight in your results than what Man United have been showing in the last 3 games. You should have beat Spurs. We were 2-0 away against them and we bottled it. We got you scraped past Villa, bottled it against Brighton, and now bottled it against West Ham. Those West Ham supporters deserve every bit of joy and elation they get tonight, because I tell you what, your 1-0 win, you absolutely deserved it. Mikel Antonio, Paqueta, Jared Bowen, Ben Rama as well. That West Ham team was frightening the shit out of a Man United back four that couldn't cope with their attacking threat on goal. And we wonder why we couldn't keep West Ham quiet. Well, there is your answer. There is your answer in a nutshell, that Man United today have thrown it away time and time again. And it's the same old excuses that they're tired, that they're fatigued, they've got no energy left. At the end of the day, I couldn't give a shit if you're tired. I couldn't give a shit if you're exhausted. And I couldn't really give a shit that you're knackered. At the end of the day, I couldn't really care about you've played the biggest amount of games you've ever done in a season. At the end of the day, you should be showing 110% effort in every match that you compete in. And the last 2 games, I've seen completely and utterly fucking jack all from that team. It's a disgrace that Man United now have got themselves into this position where the season now is going to completely and utterly fall apart in front of our own very eyes. And the fans and supporters are the ones that are suffering from that bunch of idiotic players throwing away a winnable game for 3 points, and a winnable game that Man United should have got something out of. I'm absolutely disgusted with no effort, no commitment. I'm disgusted that they turned up like that today and down tools and let down the fans, let down the supporters who travelled all that way to the London Stadium and did that in front of them. Those fans and supporters really, in my opinion, should be refunded every fucking penny that they put into the travel, the food and the cost and the petrol, the hotels, the coach tickets, the airplane tickets, to get a refund off this club and give them every fucking penny they deserve back. Because those players today are showing to those fans that they're bottle jobs. They're not ready. They can't handle the pressure. They can't cope with top 4. They can't cope with this. I can't cope with that. I'm absolutely disgusted with the response from the last 2 games alone. To lose to Brighton and then West Ham in the same week is a disgrace. What a week it's been for this fucking fan base, who deserve every bit of refund they get off that club. Those fans are the best fans in the world. We are the best supported club in the world of football, right? And those fans today have been shown that those players do not want to show fight in front of them. Are they embarrassed? Have they got stage fright? Are they basically down tooling? Are they doing what they did under Solskjaer and Ragnick? Well, look how that ended up. Solskjaer was sacked, Ragnick was sacked, and Ten Hag, do you know what, is heading exactly the same way? Because at the moment, I think Ten Hag's lost about where the hell this is going wrong. And you can't blame the manager for today. But that team alone are trying to get back to where they think they belong. At the moment, I wouldn't put them in a field to herd some sheep, because that is how bad the situation Man United have got themselves into. Those players simply don't have nothing left in them to be able to get across the finish line to get this season to be a successful one. If we end up in Europa League next season again, the way we are now, where is this club heading logically in the season after this one? Because at the moment, if we end up in Thursday night football again next season, I'm done. I'm not watching Europa League mid-table crap football with Man United featuring in it, because it's a banter competition where all the banter teams belong. We do not belong in that, but the problem is, on paper, we do. We absolutely deserve it, because we are becoming a laughingstock again. We are becoming laughable. We're an embarrassment. We're shocking. There's just nothing left in that team to get any energy, any buzz. There's no excitement factor left in that team. I get more excitement watching a Formula One race than watching Man United perform at the moment, because the standard of Formula One is a lot better than fucking Man United's standard of football. I'm just absolutely disgusted the way we have done this today. Absolutely abysmal, pathetic, embarrassing. There is no excuses from Man United today. Absolute shocking from start to go. And as for those players, come out and apologise, because I tell you what, you're getting away with a lot of shit lately, which is not okay with me. You players should be trying to fight for the badge. You should be trying to fight for the shirt. And you should be trying to fight for the fans and supporters that give up all their time for you. Because at the moment, you lot wouldn't last long in a fucking boxing ring with Tyson Fury knocking the fucking shite out of you. You wouldn't even get one round past him. You would knock the shite out of you. Honestly, those players at the moment, the questionable tactics, the substitutions, the selection of the team, I couldn't understand today. Yet again, you're looking at that bench and you're looking at the first team, right? Talking point number one, Weghorst has gone 13 games without a goal. And somehow, magically, wishes himself back into the first team. It's like he's got Sooty, the bloody toy bear, and got his magic wand and gone, Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy and put me back in that team. 13 games without a goal from Weghorst since the Real Betis first leg. And somehow, Weghorst has somehow got back in that team, back into the starting 11 and back into the team sheet. Why the fuck are we starting a fucking iron giant in Weghorst when he offers nothing all game? He's dragged off for then a lazy, arrogant mercenary in Marcel that did absolutely fuck all in that second half of the substitution of Weghorst. Absolute joke. Why are we using players like Weghorst that apparently were meant to be the answers for all the goal-scoring problems that this club got itself into? Soon as Ronaldo fucked off, they replaced him with fucking Weghorst, thinking, well, do you know what? He might just be the answer. Weghorst will put the ball in the net. Weghorst will score the goals you need, and Erik ten Hag's side will be absolutely fine, and it will all be fine. Nothing will go pear-shaped, and it's all going to be sunshine and roses for the rest of the season. Based on that note, sunshine and roses, more like hell in a cell, more like a kitchen nightmare USA with Gordon Ramsay. Because I felt like the last two games, I've gone more than 2 rounds with that club. It's just not acceptable. This standard that Ten Hag is trying to get the best out of these players, there is simply nothing left that I think Ten Hag can do. He's having to get the best out of a squad that is so shit, that is so dreadful, and players now that are thinking, you know what, we've won the Carabao Cup. What are the fans moaning at? What are the supporters moaning at? There is no excuse for your two lackluster performances in the last two league games that should have been 6 points from 6. You do not need to lose to relegation-threatened West Ham, who basically outperformed you to every ball, every tackle, every shot, every corner, every assist. There was more passion in that West Ham team than a couple in bed. That was how passionate West Ham were about getting that result today. It was more passionate than a couple having it off. That is how bad it was today. Watching West Ham rip shreds out of that Man United team. Absolute mercenaries. And then you've got point talking number 2. You've got Marcel Sabitzer, who apparently Man United are desperate to sign permanently in the summer transfer window. The last 3 games against Spurs and Villa and West Ham and Brighton, so 4 games, not 3, sorry. They're so desperate to make Sabitzer the signing in the summer and permanently because he's going to be available for cheap. What an insult to have him on the bench for the last 4 games when he's been the upgrade on Christian Eriksen by an absolute mile. And the last 4 games alone, he's been dragged to the bench, got on super glue stuck to his ass, and Erik ten Hag has refused to use him as only a second-half substitute. It's an absolute abysmal joke from Manchester United to show a lack of respect to Sabitzer, who's the only player who comes off that bench and shows any fucking fight. But none of them today, none of those subs, none of that starting 11 deserve any credit, any justification, they don't deserve any praise at all. And Wayman Greyman in the chat, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. And I can see the laughing emojis, and you've got every point and correct to laugh, because at the end of the day, that is what Man United were today. They were those emojis. That was so bad today that Man United deserve to be laughed at. We have turned into a class clown. That is how bad it's actually been. We were a clown act today. Absolute abysmal for Manchester United. I can't see why the last few games, all of a sudden, it's all gone so horribly wrong for Manchester United. I don't see anything in that team to get me excited anymore. I'm shocked about where this club is trying to go, what the long-term plan is, where the errors are meant to be corrected, but at the moment, there isn't. And if I was Marcel Sabitzer and the lack of respect I've been shown in the last 4 games, I would say, do you know what? Fuck you, United. I'm going to go to somewhere next season where I get first-team football and I'm on the team sheet for every game. Because at the moment, I would not want to be signing for United if I was in that team, because I'm better than Eriksen, I'm better than Fernandes, and I show a lot more fight than what those two have done in the last 2 or 3 games. And unfortunately, a lot of them are to blame for this mess. A lot of them are to blame for this mess. And Wayman Greyman, I've also just given you a subscribe to your channel as well. And please hit the like button on this video as well if you agree with what I'm saying and if views and points I'm bringing up. Thank you very, very much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. So, yeah, I think Sabitzer should have every right to prove that, do you know what? Why should I stay here when I'm being completely disrespected by the absolute mess this club has got itself into again? I'm absolutely disgusted. I'm just embarrassed I feel sorry for the supporters and the fans, because we are the fighting love of the club. We are the best fans in the world. We are showing that we're trying to get back to where we belong. But at the moment, where's that belonging? It looks like we've got our head in the clouds. It just looks like a completely different team. So that's, for me, talking point number 2. Talking point number 3, I think, has Jadon Sancho really got a long-term future at this club, realistically? For me, based on that second-half cameo and the way he was neglected today and not used instead of Weghorst, I would say no. Jadon Sancho's future at this club is basically done. On paper alone, he's turned into the player that I didn't expect him to turn into. And I thought Jadon Sancho would have shown a lot more of his Dortmund form as soon as he could have adapted to the Premier League. And I don't think Sancho's adapted. And I can't justify what the hell is going wrong with Jadon Sancho. It was meant to be a turnaround. It was meant to be players turning up to fight. But at the moment, that team's got less passion than a boxing fight, because at the moment, Man United are in the ring and are getting absolutely battered every left, right hook. Absolute joke. So I think, Sancho, In that second half, he offered nothing going forward. His passing is abysmal. His communication around with his other teammates and to tell them to stop moaning. I think Jadon Sancho is completely and utterly out of fucking line to tell all the other players to stop moaning, because at the end of the day, all those other players alone care a lot more about Manchester United than some of those other players do. And you're seeing it now. You're seeing the snakes, you're seeing the vermin, and you're seeing the mercenaries that are existing in this dressing room at this football club, and you're seeing it now on a weekly fucking basis. There is no excuses today for Man United to turn up like that and perform like that. It's not fucking good enough. The errors and the mistakes stop here. The bullshit, the excuses, I could not care if those players are on their knees trying to fight and are tired and are knackered and exhausted. At the end of the day, I couldn't give a shit about your feelings, about your emotions. I couldn't give one fuck. You are footballers meant to be performing at the level that we are all wanting, and you're not doing it. You should be listening to the manager, what he's telling you in training, and you should then be producing it on that turf of football pitch. You are showing none of that. You didn't show anything. David De Gea is the main problem, though, today. His distribution and that error alone, soon as that went in, I knew the game was gone. There was no comeback from Man United to find a result, to find a bit of positivity. There was simply nothing in that team that Man United could have done today. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely appalled by Man United's lack of creativity, ideas, commitment. But David De Gea should have kept that shot out. And my friend, mate Ertex, in the live chat, he's one of my managing moderators, would have kept that shot out, and he's not even a fucking goalkeeper. I would have kept that out, and I'm not even a goalkeeper. It was not hard to not make that error. And David De Gea alone, his positioning, you can't say and use the excuse he slipped, because there was no sign of a slip there. David De Gea let that in deliberately because he knows his future's on the line, and he's down tooling up the rest of those bottle jobs in that team. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely appalled by the lack of anything in that team. And have we turned into a long ball team? I think we have. I can't understand why. And Mr. Savage is in the chat as well. Massive shout out to him as well. Great friend, great subscriber, and great member of the channel and the community. Have United turned into a long ball team? Yeah, I think we have. I think we've turned into the style of Liverpool when they signed Ricky Lambert. When Ricky Lambert signed to Liverpool, Liverpool went up to the style of long ball football. We'll hoof it up forward to Lambert to bring it down against the four centre-backs that he was faced against, and try and bring the ball down to play to the other attackers, the other midfielders and the other centre-backs, and to create a different style of play for Liverpool. And I think United have turned into that because they've got Weghorst, because they are running out of options, they're running out of ideas, and they're running out of any creativity that is completely dried up in that team. It's completely and utterly dry. That is how bad it was today. It's like we've turned into a really bad dry armpit. We're so dry under our armpits that the deodorant and the roll-on we're using isn't working, and our armpits are fucking red sore more than this fucking Red United shirt. That was how sore and how damaging that was today. It was a disgrace at Manchester United, and there's no words to get them out of jail. We're not using the get out of jail free card here on this channel. This club should be setting standards of perfection. There's been no perfection in the last 3 fucking games. You should have beat Spurs, you should have beat Brighton, and West Ham should have been a win. And those 3 games you drew, lost and lost. We have won 1 game in our last 4 matches. And I want to question those United players. What the fuck is going on here? Because this isn't funny. This isn't laughable. This is inexcusable from a team that are meant to be trying their best to try and find a way back to the top of football. And if they're not going to do it, those players need to hand in a transfer. And some of those players do not want to be here. Do the right thing. Hold your hand up and apologise for your shit shambles of a performance today. Absolute wankers, shitheads, dickheads, absolute mercenaries to the shirt. Disgrace to English football, a disgrace to the Premier League, and you're letting everyone down here. You are letting everyone down. Bit by bit by bit by bit, you are breaking this team apart. I'm disgusted for what we've turned into today. And David De Gea, my other talking point, we write all our talking points down here, and I've got them all here written fucking down for how bad that was today. David De Gea does need replacing in the summer. Don't dare go and give him a new bloody contract, because at the end of the day, there is no excuses for the amount of goals he's letting in this season. And apparently, he's in line to win the goalkeeper golden glove this season because the amount of clean sheets he's kept. Based on what? It should be down to performance, not down to clean sheets. At the end of the day, David De Gea couldn't keep a moth out of his bedroom, because that is how bad David De Gea was whole game. Distribution, his passing with his left and his right foot is abysmal. Absolutely abysmal goalkeeper that can't get in the Spanish team because the Spain team and coaches have realised David De Gea is now shit. And people moan that, oh, David De Gea doesn't deserve the criticism. Why are you criticising him? Why are you moaning at him? He's been one of our best goalkeepers for years. Yeah, that might be right, but at the end of the day, Ten Hag has got to get rid of that goalkeeper. And so, Joe, in the chat, I do agree with your view and I do agree with your point. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way, because you're absolutely bang on to the point. I think, is Ten Hag pushing these players too much? Is he trying to get too much out of them? And is he killing this team? But in the last 2 games, is he? Is Ten Hag now becoming the problem? But at the end of the day, you've got a valid point, and it might be bang on. You might get a lot of likes for that because you're sharing a good view and opinion that can be massively justified by the players. Because at the end of the day, if they're not listening to the manager's tactics, the manager's basically trying to get off with a loose hook here. So yeah, please subscribe if you're new, Sojo, by the way. You're absolutely bang on, mate. I absolutely agree with your point. Please subscribe to the channel, mate. And please hit the like button on the video. And I also give you a resubscribe on your channel as well. You're absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on with that point now. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely bang on to where that point should have been made in the first place. Is Ten Hag trying too much? Is he trying to get the best out of what he's got? Or is the football he's trying to achieve ain't possible with these bunch of bottle jobs? And I think it's probably possible. And yeah, Sojo, please subscribe, by the way, and I'll give you a subscribe on your channel as a favour of appreciation for your great view and your great point and your great comment that you've made. You're bang on there. Absolutely bang on there. And I couldn't agree more with you. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. Maybe the manager's becoming the problem, but at the end of the day, is Ten Hag at loose ends? Is Ten Hag trying to get the best out of the players that don't want to suit his system and basically trying to get away with it? But at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair. I really don't think it's fair on the manager. I don't think it's all the manager's fault, but maybe it is. But I've seen nothing from that team today that gets me excited now. It's unacceptable. So yeah, Sojo in the chat, please subscribe, by the way, and I'll subscribe to your channel right now, which I'm doing right at this moment. So please subscribe. So yeah, I think this team has got to find some answers quick. But am I optimistic that United are going to turn this around? No, I'm not optimistic. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted that we could throw Champions League football away. I'm shocked by the lack of anything from the last few games. I'm disgusted by the players today because they are the big problem at this football club, because at the end of the day, we're meant to be trying to somehow get Champions League football, but we might not get it now. And if we lose out on Champions League football, it's the players to blame, not the manager. But we are literally clinging on to hinge hooks now. We are literally clinging on to a hook on the top of a coat rack. That is how the hook's coming off the hook rack. And it's just, I don't know what the answer is, where it's going wrong, but it's showing in every sign of angle that United are doing this to themselves. And I ain't got no sympathy for that. I've got no energy or time to say that Man United deserve praise. They don't. They are showing to the world that this is them. This is the players. This is them. This is what they are producing on the pitch. And they're meant to be trying to get the best out of everybody. So what can I say? It's an abysmal shit show altogether today. And I think, the goal scoring problem is another point I've made, that, United are running out of ideas for the goals. There is no creativity or goals left in that midfield. The attack is nowhere near to be seen. And Rashford's goals have dried up. Anthony's goals have dried up. Weghorst isn't the striker we need, or the option we need up front to put the ball in the net. And I have told people to subscribe. And so, Joe, please subscribe if you're new, by the way, because your appointment's correct. absolutely bang on there. So please subscribe, my friend, to the channel. Everyone, please subscribe if you're new. You're all welcome on this channel and the community. So, please keep subscribing and tell everyone and get them to subscribe, because you're all legends. You're all amazing. So, yeah, back onto the goal scoring problems. Man United don't have an answer. We don't. We have got no answers in that team to put the ball in the net. Rashford, I think, is showing signs of inconsistency. I said this about Marcus Rashford last season and season before. I think we're seeing the old Marcus Rashford back at Man United, the inconsistency. I think he's gone back into turning into Marcus Rashford. I think, honestly, he is no player for the future. I don't see how he can turn his form around. And the last 3 games, he's not put the ball in the net. And I think for a striker with the quality that he has shown all season, is completely unacceptable. Rashford should be banging in a goal at least every 1 or 2 games. But it shows that the form of Marcus Rashford, he can't keep this up. He really, really can't. And I don't understand why. Has the confidence gone? Has the drain run out of water? But I just think Rashford's running into thin air, trying to do too much and trying to do too many fancy tricks. He ain't Maradona, he ain't Pele, he ain't Ronaldo, and he goes for too much that he really should be thinking about the team around him and not just using it for his own selfish greed. But that sums up Marcus Rashford today. It absolutely was a failure up front. Couldn't do anything to cause some form of attack on the West Ham goal. And I think if Rashford would have put that shot in, if it wouldn't have gone off the post, we would have been sat here 1-0 up. And I think, it was the same for Anthony. I think today, yet again, I saw nothing of him in the second half. First half, he was probably Man United's best player by far and produced the most attacking detail for that team. But at the end of the day, there was nothing in that second half. Anthony was like watching a person in a coma. And it was literally such deep sleep that you couldn't wake Anthony up. He was absolutely invisible in that second half. And there's no excuses today for him not to find some form of attacking style in that second half to cause the West Ham goal a threat. And I think this is the problem. I think if Man United would have gone and got a João Felix or a Gakpo or a Depay, I think United would have put the ball in the net a lot more than what they have now. Their course was clearly a bang average signing, a pathetic and a disgrace and a disgusting signing that Manchester United should have went nowhere fucking near. And this is the point, Man United. You have shot yourselves badly here. And I've got no sympathy. And you can get your PR team on this as much as fucking possible. But I am not falling for the crap that you're going to come out with and defend every bit of that shit show today. You can come out and say that, oh, we were lucky that we got away with it, that we, don't use that with me. You're not using that as an excuse to get away with that shit show that you were today. Don't you dare do that to me, because at the end of the day, those fans, those supporters deserve a lot better than what you've been showing in the last 3 games. There has been nothing to excite the fan base of. There is nothing to get away with today. You were a shit show from a minute ago, and you should hang your fucking heads in shame and look at that mirror and have a big, massive reality check and have a big old talk with yourself and find some form of remorse to give back to those fans and supporters, because don't dare go on social media and bounce back like a bloody kangaroo and say, we'll bounce back, we'll bounce back, we'll bounce back. I am done with your social media interaction. I am done with the bounce back ability. We are not a trampoline. We are not a fucking kangaroo. We are not someone on speed jumping about like a bloody trampoline either. You should have found a way back into that game and got us the win today. But you've done this to yourselves, and I've got no sympathy with that. I think people saying that, United are a better team without Anthony and Fernandes, I completely and utterly disagree. I think by far in that first half, they were the better players. I thought they created a lot more chances than what half that team showed in 90 minutes. And I think as well, the Rashford inconsistency I've been showing for a while. And I think, have the United players given up? I think they have. I think they have massively given up. I think they have thrown in the towel. They're done for the rest of the season. There's no energy left in them to be able to deliver what we're all looking for. Have they thrown the Champions League away? Absolutely. 15 points clear at Liverpool at one point, and it was nearly 18. We are now down to 1 single point between United and Liverpool. And Brighton, if they sneak in above both of them, I will applaud Brighton for what they've achieved. And Brighton would deserve it. Absolutely would deserve it there. Because at the end of the day, Liverpool sat there laughing. And Brighton, and Brentford, and Fulham, and Tottenham, they're all laughing at Man United tonight because Man United's incapability of getting this result handed to them. And Man United have been handed to them on a fucking plate of posh fucking food from a posh 3-5-star restaurant. West Ham absolutely came to the table and outplayed this team for the whole 90 minutes. And the United players, you're a joke, you're a disgrace, you're mercenaries, you're vermin, you're a joke to the shirt, you're a joke to the badge, and some of you need kicking out this club. Not just sold, termination of contracts, termination of coaches, but don't pinpoint all the blames on the manager. Ten Hag has been hung out to dry by clueless owners, a clueless board that don't give a fuck about this club, and we have still got fans in this fan base that are still not getting it, still not getting the situation of what we're in and what we're trying to achieve as a fan base as a whole, is to force those cunts out of the club, sell the club and fuck off home the Glazers. That is what we want out. We want them out the club. And the problem is with fans still attending home and away games and also buying the shirt and the merchandise, the kit, the programs, the scarf, the mugs, the t-shirts, the footballs, the water bottles, the wallets, the Christmas merchandise. As long as they're making money, the Glazers aren't going anywhere. And Man United tickets are still being renewed for next season. Fans are still renewing their season tickets. Fans are still going to watch away in home games at Old Trafford and away at every ground we go. You're still putting money into the Glazers' back pockets, but some of you are wanting the Glazers gone, but then some of you are going there wanting the Glazers out, but you're still putting money into the Glazers' back pocket, which makes them stay even longer. And we're not doing enough as a fan base, and we're not doing enough as the supporters either. We should be protesting morning, night and day. That is what a proper fan base at Man United should be doing. If we've got to give up school or college or university or a job for the day, I couldn't really give a shit, because I want the Glazers gone. They are the biggest snakes and the biggest problem at the top of this club from top to bottom, because that is the type of performance we're seeing from a shit squad, from shit players who don't give one fuck about anyone except their wage packet and the money they take home to their families, their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. They don't give a shit. And they're taking money out this club and getting away with it. And the players are part of the problem with the Glazers. And if the fans aren't willing to do enough, then you're not really a Man United fan. You're a bit of a two-faced hypocrite for saying you want the Glazers gone, but you're still going to stand by the club that you all love, but still put money into them that they think that they deserve to have money. I'm sorry. If you need educating of how to be a proper Man United fan, come please talk to me, because I've not spent one single penny on that club all season. I put my fucking foot down. And if you've got kids or brothers or sisters or aunties or nieces or grandparents or brothers, stepsisters, you've got uncles, you've got stepbrothers, you've got sisters, you've got parents, say no and put your foot down. Don't let them put any more money into the club. Say no. Don't be afraid to say no and say, look, I'm changing this season. I am not doing it any fucking longer, because at the end of the day, we deserve the best outcome for everyone at this club, and that is to get those snakes out of Man United Football Club as soon as possible. But if this fan base is not willing to do it, then some of these fans are not Man United fans. Some of these fans are just in it for the glory. I'm in it for the long-term satisfaction of seeing this club back to where it should be. And if you keep seeing that shit show next season and the Glazers are still here, fans have got no right attending the games, no right renewing their season tickets, and don't dare go and spend any more of your hard-earned working money on this club, because you're running this club as deeper into the ground as what the Glazers are currently doing now. And if you keep doing it, we are going to have the same problem year after year, season after season, month after month, week after week, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. If the money keeps getting put in, Man United are going to keep going into the same direction under the abysmal ownership we're on. But today sums up the mess this club's in. At the top, at the bottom, and in the middle. We are a complete mess, and that was today a mess. We are missing the likes of Varane and Martinez. That is so easy to tell. We are missing the quality of Donny van der Beek. We are missing the quality of Garnacho, even though he was back, returned from injury. Hasn't even been used, and he's fit to play. Hasn't even been used in the team today. Sums it up. Sums this situation up. If players like Garnacho and Sancho would have started that game today, instead of players like Weghorst and Malacia, Lindelof and Shaw, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, this result wouldn't have happened today. But Man United have shot yourself today. And well done for yet again ruining a fucking week. An awful week for me for what I've had to go through, experience and the emotions and feelings I've been feeling all week. But thanks for ruining my week again for your abysmal, pathetic football, your arrogant, useless footballers that play for the club that have got no desire or passion to get across the finish line and end the season on a high note. Because I tell you what, if people think we're going to win the FA Cup against Man City in the final, face a bit of reality check. We are going to get annihilated playing like this. Because those players have given up, thrown in the towel and basically said they're done. They've given up on you, they've given up on us, and they've given up on me. They have given up on all you other United fans tonight by showing that abysmal crap in 90 minutes. They should be ashamed, absolutely ashamed of what they've done today. There's no excuses from United, and don't dare protect their egos because they get too much protection anyway. So go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't think about United. Forget about those toss pots and go and enjoy the rest of your weekend while it still lasts, because don't let Man United ruin it. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new. Remember, share the video, hit the tweet button, hit that retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. Put that bell on at all times to join even more content right throughout the rest of this year with more Rocket League, Fortnite, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, Football Manager, FIFA 23 Career Mode, loads more stuff, EA Sports FC, the new Formula 1 game, more previews, more reactions. Mr. Savage, I'll be on Rocket League later. I'm actually going to go and enjoy the rest of my weekend. I'm going to go and watch the F1 because I tell you what, it's a lot more enjoyment and there's a lot more passion put into an F1 race than watching that pile of shit tonight. Go and enjoy the rest of the weekend and then join me for the preview Wednesday afternoon for the game between Man United and Wolves at the weekend. Next Saturday afternoon, join me for the preview Wednesday afternoon. Stay safe, be nice and be kind to each other. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. Thanks for ruining my weekend, United, and thanks for making this week an absolute living hell for me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. But Man United, wake the fuck up, would you? Thanks for watching.